Welcome, dear friend, to godly sleep, a place where your heart can finally rest. You don't have to carry the weight of the day any longer. Whatever has been pressing on your mind, the stress, the noise, the worries that seem to follow you even into the night, you can let them go. Now, here, in this quiet space, you are safe. You are seen. You are loved. Close your eyes and take a slow breath in. Feel it fill your lungs. Then gently release it as the world grows still. Let God's peace begin to wrap around you like a warm blanket. Every word you hear tonight comes from Scripture, a message of hope, comfort, and divine calm that your soul has been longing for. When you can't sleep, when the world feels heavy, when you just need a moment to breathe again, come back here. You are not alone. Thousands of hearts are listening with you tonight, resting under the same promise of peace that God gives freely to all who seek Him. Here, at Godly Sleep, we believe that rest is more than just closing your eyes. It's allowing your spirit to be renewed in the presence of the one who loves you most. So find a soft place to rest. Let go of your thoughts and allow the Word of God to lead you gently into peace. If this space brings you comfort, consider subscribing and joining our growing community of believers who seek nightly peace through Scripture and reflection. Together, we're building not just a channel but a family of faith, rest, and hope. Tonight, may you drift into sleep knowing that you are deeply loved, perfectly held, and never alone. I welcome you into this quiet hour. I invite a slow arrival. Settle into a space that feels safe. Let a blanket rest across the knees. Support the head with a soft pillow. Allow the shoulders to drop. I speak in a calm voice. The room around us grows still. A lamp glows low. Outside, sounds fade into the distance. A clock ticks gently. That sound is not a demand. It is a steady, harmless companion. I ask for one small thing. Open the heart, not in urgency, but in a gentle willingness. Imagine a door that is soft and light. It opens without force. The invitation is simple. Receive mercy. Receive rest. Receive a word that soothes. I do not call for explanations. I do not ask for answers to hard questions tonight. This moment is for rest. It is for the weary parts. It is for the busy mind to lay down its arms. Let the body be quiet. Let the mind be quieter still. Breathe with me. Inhale slowly. Count 4 in the mind. Hold for a single, gentle beat. Exhale longer. Let the out-breath be a release. Repeat this pattern 3 times. With each out-breath, let one worry loosen its grip. Let one small ache grow faint. Let one restless thought float away like a leaf. I place no heavy language here. I offer short words and clear images. Imagine a soft light at the center of the chest. It is steady and warm. It is not demanding. It asks only for a glance. Let that light expand with each breath. It does not chase shadows. It simply fills space. If muscles feel tight, use a slow motion to ease them. Roll the shoulders back and down. Stretch the arms gently overhead and let them fall. Ease the jaw. Soften the brow. Notice any clasped hands and uncurl the fingers. The body responds to kind attention. The body lengthens when it is noticed. I speak as one who sits beside you. This is a shared quiet. I will read from the scriptures in a gentle cadence. Words will arrive slowly. They will carry simple comfort. They will not press for debate. They will not ask for immediate comprehension. The purpose is healing. The purpose is rest. If sleep comes before the reading finishes, that is welcome. Sleep is a part of repair. Let it arrive without guilt. The words will continue to press in the background like a hush. If alertness remains, let the ears drink the rhythm. Let the mind taste the cadence. Let the heart receive the steady truth of presence. Bring one small intention into this hour. It can be as small as a single name. It can be the image of breath. It can be the quiet plea. Help. Hold it without force. Place it on the soft light at the chest. Trust that even the smallest intention is noticed. I do not promise a sudden solution. I promis astedi companion. I promise mercy in language that eases. I promise simplicity that rests the mind. Tonight is not about solving. It is about being held. Grace touches us in many forms. A hush, a soft hand, a remembered kindness, a line of scripture that arrives like a whisper. Allow that grace to wash over whatever is raw inside. It does not erase pain at once. It makes room for it. It makes room for healing to begin. If a thought tries to rush in plans for tomorrow, lists that must be done, notice it. Name it quietly. Then return to the breath. Label it as thinking and let it go. There is a time for lists. This is not it. This hour belongs to a slower rhythm. I will read slowly. Each sentence will rest in the air. Pause will follow pause. No need to keep up with meaning. Let the phrases sink like gentle rain into soil that has been dry. Let the words find the small cracks. Let them seep where need exists. The voice that reads is calm. It is not a teacher's lecture. It is a steady presence. It is a lantern held close at night. If eyes are open, allow them to soften. The edges of the room may blur. If eyes close, keep them relaxed. Do not strain to see inner images. Allow any visions to be gentle and sparse. I hold a simple prayer in my mind for this time. It is short and tender. It asks for softening. It asks for rest. It asks for courage to let go. The prayer is not ornate. It is a small breath toward God. It is offered with quiet expectancy. Listen for the tone of mercy more than for arguments. Mercy is a small, practical thing. It rests in the knowledge that no one must perform to be loved. It rests in the simple truth that presence is enough. Tonight, let presence be the measure. If sadness is present, let it have a place. Do not hurry to fix it. Tell it, in silence, that it is seen. Tears are a cleansing rain. They do not weaken. They open the way for healing waters to flow. Let the body soften around the sadness. Let the breathing steady it. If joy arrives unexpectedly, Receive it with the same calm. Let a small smile rest at the corners of the mouth. Joy and sorrow can sit together. They are not contradictory in a healing evening. Both are parts of a tender unfolding. The word that will be read is not a tool of pressure. It is a lamp. It is a quiet guide. It will name simple truths. God cares. God hears. God walks beside those who are tired. These truths do not demand exhaustive theology. They offer an ever-present hand. Imagine a path that is dim but true. The feet do not need to rush. Each step is steady and sure. Walk it at a gentle pace. The light ahead is not harsh. It is steady and measured. It knows the shape of the road. It knows where the resting places are. I encourage a posture of listening rather than analysis. Listening requiert patience. It allows impressions to surface one by one. Thoughts that arrive can be like small birds. Watch them land. Watch them leave. Let them not disturb the heart's stillness. If memories surface, treat them kindly. Do not force them away. Let them be like old photographs laid on a table. Observe them. Allow a quiet blessing to pass over them. If wounds appear, let the ancient hand of God touch them in tenderness. Healing often begins where wounds are acknowledged and held with loving care. I will speak slowly about mercy and hope. Mercy is not a fleeting emotion. It is a steady presence that arrives even when deservedness feels absent. Hope is a quiet trust that morning can come after a long night. These are small truths to hold like warm stones in the palm of the hand. Let breathing be the constant. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let each exhale be a release. Let each inhale be a soft gathering. The rhythm will steady the nervous system. The body will begin to relax into ease. If the mind asks for reasons, offer it a single response: rest. Rest is not neglect. Rest is a sacred act of restoration. It honors the limits of the body. It honors the heart's need to be replenished. To rest in God's word is to allow replenishment to begin. I invite stillness now for a few deep breaths. Inhale. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale. Feel the belly soften. Notice the chest as it rises and falls. Allow the breathing to find a natural, slow pace. Let the ears tune into the cadence of the voice that will read. If distraction arrives, use a simple anchor. The sensation of the breath at the nostrils, the gentle rise of the chest, the familiar weight of the blanket on the knees. These small anchors return attention to calmness. They are gentle counters to restless thought. I will read passages chosen for their comfort. They are not long. They are not dense. They are words that settle like dew on the heart. Let any single line become a touchstone. Return to it between breaths. Let it echo softly and steady the night. There is permission to drift. There is permission to doze. There is permission to stay awake and rest in the sound. No achievement is required. Only openness. Only the willingness to be still and to receive. If sleep deepens, the reading will not be interrupted. It will continue as a quiet presence in the background. When the voice slows and softly moves through the lines, the heart receives a lullaby. If the morning wakes the listener before the reading ends, the peace will remain. The memory of this quiet will travel into the day. Now, prepare the heart for the first passage. Place the small intention at the center again. Let it be a single word, if less is easier rest. Peace. Healing. Keep the breath even. Keep the body soft. Keep the room still. I begin now. The reading will be slow and clear. Listen with the ears and with the heart. Allow the words to settle. If any sleep comes, know it is welcome. If the mind stays alert, let it drink the simple mercy held in each line. When the voice begins, let the day step back. Let the night draw its gentle curtain. Let this hour be a space of quiet that leads toward healing and hope. I begin now. The book opens with a soft crack. The paper breathes. A lamp keeps watch. The room listens. A short passage rests in my hands. It reads like a quiet path. The image is simple. A shepherd walks beside the one who is tired. The shepherd guides to places that calm the feet. The voice in the page speaks of quiet water. The feet slow. The heart softens. The scene asks nothing loud. It shows care. I let the words fall slowly. I allow a pause after each image. The pause is a place to breathe. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. The breath answers the words. The breath says, I am here. After the passage, I speak a small reflection. These lines are not a lesson. They are a name for what rests inside. A hand that guides feels like mercy. Mercy does not hurry judgments. Mercy sits and listens. Mercy stays with the slow healing. I invite a gentle thought. Think of a place where the world feels thinner. A field at dusk. A chair by a window. A shore where waves arrive without demand. Place the small intention there now. Let it breathe with the wind. I read again. The next section offers another simple image. It speaks of an invitation to come. It does not press. It simply calls out with warmth. The call reaches those who carry burdens. The call asks for rest. No badge of righteousness is required. No perfect answer is needed. The invitation rests on the idea that presence heals more than proof. I pause. The pause becomes a small prayer. The prayer is short. Please bring rest. Please ease the tight places. Please steady the trembling hands. The prayer is not ornate. It is a soft request offered with an open palm. I speak about trust in a quiet way. Trust is not a bright light in this hour. It is a steady glow near the heart. It does not banish all doubt at once. It offers a companion for the night. Hold that companion lightly. Let it warm the edges of fear. Listen to the room. Hear the small sounds. À distant quart, the soft settling of the house. Each sound is part of the fabric of this hour. Non de mes actions. They become a gentle lace, holding the darkness together. I read a short verse about mercy that is like morning mist. It says, without drama, that mercy meets the weary. Mercy comes like a soft cloth laid across a brow. The language is simple. It tends to small wounds. It refuses to shout. I offer a guided image. Picture a pair of hands. They are worn. Patient and kind. They cup a small thing, a broken bowl, a child's toy, an old photograph. The hands do not force the pieces back as they were. They make room. They mend with quiet stitches. The bowl will not be the same. And that is all right. The beauty here is the careful tending. Breathe with that image. Inhale into the chest. Exhale into the hands. Let a small part of the tension unwind. Allow an ache to settle into the palm. Let the heart know it can be held even when it is cracked. I read on. The passage speaks of a presence that keeps watch through a long night. It does not promise immediate change. It promises company. The idea comforts without grand claims. The language sits like a shawl around the shoulders. A moment of silence follows. In the silence, a thought may arrive. Let it pass like a small bird. Watch it alight briefly. Then fly. No need to chase it. No need to fix it. The task is to be gentle with whatever comes. I turn the page with hands that move slowly. The next piece speaks of small acts of kindness. It is not a lecture on virtue. It is a reminder that simple things heal a warm cup. A short note. A soft word. These acts are not solutions. They are bridges to rest. Imagine now a little ritual. Put a hand over the heart. Feel the beat there. Name one kindness received recently. It can be tiny, a smile from a stranger, a message that arrived at the right time. Let that kindness shine for a few breaths. Let gratitude be a small lamp. I read a brief passage that names peace as different from the world's hurry. This peace does not demand success. It does not insist on control. It arrives as a stillness that knows how to wait. The words do not argue. They soothe. Let the body surrender to that idea. Allow the shoulders to soften. Let the jaw unclench. Let the knees loosen beneath the blanket. Each small release is a step toward rest. I say something now about hope. Hope is not a loud prophecy. It is a steady expectation that morning can come. Hope sits between breaths. It trusts that even slow repair is repair. It knows the pattern of seasons. Winter changes in time. Hold that trust in a gentle way. Do not force it. Let it be like a seed in a warm soil. It will wake when the time is right. I read a passage that paints the image of a traveler resting at an inn. The traveler lays down burdens at the door. The innkeeper offers a simple bed and a soft pillow. The picture calls the listener to rest. No proof of worthiness is asked. Only need is required. Rest now. Do not rush the act. It is sacred. Rest honors the body and the soul. Respect the rhythms that shape life and healing. Allow muscles to release their tight hold. Allow thoughts to slow like a river reaching a wider, calmer place. I offer a small instruction. If sleep begins, it is welcome. The voice will continue like a steady hum in the background. If wakefulness remains, let the words be a soft blanket. Either way is fitting. I read again with a measured pace. The passage describes kindness, extended to the weak. It speaks of steady care, not spectacle. The language is patient. The care illustrated is quiet and faithful. It tends the daily needs and sits with sorrow when there are no quick fixes. Pause after this. Breathe in, then out. Feel a sense of being tended. Imagine a cup being refilled slowly. Taste the warmth. Let it move from the lips to the center of the chest. A gentle invitation follows. If this hour calms, consider returning. If these words ease the night, share the calm with another. A small suggestion carries no pressure. Leave a note. Press a subscribe button. Share the recording with a friend who needs stillness. Speak kindly in a comment. These acts spread quietness like gentle wind through a town. They cost almost nothing and offer much. I read a soft passage about mercy that turns toward action. The passage suggests that mercy leads to small faithfulness. It recommends simple, steady steps care for the neighbor. Listen without interrupting. Sit with those who grieve. These steps are not grand. They are faithful. They are the slow work that heals. I ask for a short moment of inner checking. Where is one small kindness to be offered tomorrow? It need not be dramatic. It can be a phone call, a pause in a hectic schedule to listen, a deliberate act of patience in traffic. Mark one thing now. Let it be simple enough to do. Lower my voice even more. The reading slows. The room feels deeper. Night sounds retreat. The heart becomes the loudest thing here, and that is allowed. A closing passage sits near the end. It offers a gentle benediction that mercy and peace might settle like dew, and that hope might steady like a lighthouse. The language leaves room for rest rather than asserting final answers. The final words are a soft bed. I fold the book slowly. The motion is small. The lamp stays low. A final breath brings this hour together. Breathe in peace. Breathe out thanks for the small things. Let the body accept its need for rest as a good thing. Before the last quiet, a short prayer passes from the lips. It is simple. It asks for rest that heals. It asks for calm for tense places. It asks for a gentle waking. The prayer is brief and honest. It sits like a warm stone in the hand. Now, if eyes are open, allow them to become heavy. If they are closed, keep them soft. Let the breath find its own slow rhythm. There is no rush to move. Stay here a little longer. Let the silence do its work. I will end this time with a blessing offered in a low voice. May mercy meet you. May peace attend your sleep. May hope keep a quiet watch as you rest. These words are not spells. They are an intention held on your behalf. When the morning comes, carry a memory of this hour. Let it be an anchor against tomorrow's storms. A small pause can be a refuge. When needs return, remember the lamp, the breath, the steady pages. Come back again. This place waits. The recording will close slowly now. The voice will retreat to a whisper. The final note is a hush. Rest is welcome. Rest is given. Rest with grace. I slow my voice further now. I speak of stillness. I speak of presence. I hold a single verse in my mind as a gentle lamp. It says, simply, be still and know. Let that sentence sit soft and plain. Let it settle into the ribs like a small, warm stone. I do not rush the meaning. I do not press for answers. I let the phrase act as a breathing instruction. Inhale. Be still. Exhale. No. Each breath lets the sentence sink a little deeper. The words are not a test. They are a doorway. I invite the room to go quiet with me. Notice how silence gathers like fog over a meadow. The hush is not empty. It is full of listening. In that listening, a presence becomes visible in a new way. The presence is not distant. It is beside the bed, at the edge of the chair, in the pause between heartbeats. I picture a lake at dawn. The surface is glass. No wind stirs. Trees lean over and see themselves twice. The horizon breathes slowly. In that mirror, everything rests. The lake does not work to be still. Stillness is its nature. In the same way, presence surrounds without striving. It is simply there. I read the scripture not as a demand, but as an invitation. The invitation asks me to notice. To notice is to come home to what is true. To notice is to let the busy mind unclench. Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw loosen. To notice is a tiny revolution. It changes the angle of attention from doing to being. I name a place I can return to in the night. It is a small room within the heart. A single chair sits by a window. The window shows a sky. Sometimes clear, sometimes clouded. The chair accepts what comes. It does not judge the weather. I invite you to sit there with me. Place a hand on the arm of the chair. Feel the grain of the wood. Feel the steadiness. The presence meets us there. I speak in plain sentences about what presence does. It steadies. It steadies without spectacle. It steadies by simply remaining, like a lighthouse that does not hurry. Its beam keeps circling. The mariner sleeps a little easier because the light keeps its slow promise. Presence works the same way. It does not fix every storm right away. It keeps watch. I encourage a small practice now. Close the eyes if that helps. Place the right hand over the heart. Breathe. On each out-breath, name one small thing to release. A tiredness, a worry, a plan that can wait. Let it go into the out-breath and imagine the presence welcoming it. No rush, no theatrics. The act is plain. The release is simple. I speak of omnipresence in quiet terms. It means not being alone in the wide dark. It means a steady company in the smallest and least showy moments. I do not explain everything about this presence. I only point to the experience of being seen. Being seen matters. It changes the shape of a sleepless night. I read a brief line about a still place and hold it between breaths. Let the phrase rest like a soft weight on the chest. Feel it. Notice how the muscles under the collarbone unclench. The face softens. The mind loosens its grip on tomorrow. Presence is a kind of gravity that brings scattered thoughts toward the center. I offer an image of roots. A tree in the wind may bend and yield. Roots do not move much. They drink and hold. They hold the tree steady. Presence is like the root system of life. Even when storms come, the tree remains because its roots go deep. Trust is not a sudden leap. It is a slow-growing thing. It takes seasons. I speak now of overcoming. I do not promise dramatic triumphs. I describe steady passage. Overcoming looks like small mornings stacked into many days. It looks like a shoulder that lets go of tension, a hair at a time. It looks like a habit of turning toward presence when worry rises. Overcoming is not an instant. It is the patient work of small shifts. I read a short passage about the way strength arises in quiet. Strength is not always noise or effort. Sometimes it is the hush in the bones after fear has been noticed and named. Strength comes when breath settles the nervous system. It grows when the hands unclench and when the eyes soften. This strength is gentle. It tends what is fragile. I give a small practice for overcoming fear tonight. Imagine the fear as a thin rope. It is not a chain. It hangs between two hands. On your side rests a small light. Each time attention comes to presence, place a finger on that light. Let the finger remain there for a full breath. The rope is still there. The finger does not have to tug. The light keeps company. Over time. The hand grows steadier. The rope loses its pull. I speak of small acts of courage. A phone call that gets made when dread says no. A small apology offered with a soft voice. A request for help. These are not grand gestures. They are brave because they cost something. They are markers of progress. Overcoming gathers these small acts and lets them become a path. I remind gently that setbacks happen. They are part of the way. The night may bring a return of old fears. That is allowed when the tide comes back. Do not see it as failure. See it as another moment to notice and to rest in presence. Each time, the noticing gets easier. The breath gets steadier. The heart learns the route. I read a passage that likens endurance to the steady burn of a candle. A candle does not fight the wind. It stands in a jar and gives light. The jar is its form. Presence is the jar. It holds the flame. The flame does not have to roar. It only needs to glow. That glow changes the shapes around it. It changes the room. I offer a practice for the morning to come. When waking, place the palm on the chest and say one small truth. Aloud or in the mind, you are seen. You are not alone. The words do not have to be pretty. They only need to be true. Let them anchor the first breath. Let them be like a soft rope tied to the day. I speak softly about mercy as a companion to overcoming. Mercy does not erase mistakes. It tends them. It brings ointment. It does not shame. Mercy opens a space where healing can begin. When a wrong step occurs, mercy provides a place to rest, to learn, and to begin again. Overcoming grows best where mercy is present. I read a short phrase about patience. Patience is not passive. It is an active trust that time and steady care change things. It knows the power of small, faithful acts. It sees the good of slow work. Patience and presence make a pair. They steady the hands and soften the hurry. I give a practical suggestion. For tonight, choose one small thing to let rest. A worry, a task list, a regret. Place it in a small mental box and close the lid. Imagine handing the box to presence. It will not steal the responsibility entirely. It will hold what you cannot manage right now. Leave the box on the bedside table. Return to it when the morning comes. I describe how prayer can be simple and brief. A one-word prayer is enough. A single syllable can turn the heart. If a name comes to mind, offer it softly. If a memory rises, breathe over it. Prayer in this hour is not a performance. It is a small, leaning toward the steady hand that watches. I speak now of courage as quiet endurance. It is the decision to keep breathing. It is the choice to let presence surround fear rather than to push it away. Overcoming is not always dramatic. Often, it is the daily habit of returning to a calm place, acknowledging what is hard, and continuing anyway with gentle steps. I read a closing line that pictures dawn as slow and patient. Light presses the dark back inch by inch. The promise of morning is not loud. It is gradual. It arrives like a tide. Overcoming follows the same rhythm. Each small day adds up. Each kind choice lays a piece of the path. I offer a short, soft practice to carry into sleep. Lie still. Notice the rising of the chest. Notice the lowering. Let each breath be an anchor. With the out-breath, imagine letting go of one small trouble. With the in-breath, picture presence, folding around the place you released. Stay with this rhythm for a few breaths. I close this part with a quiet benediction. May stillness find a place in the bones. May presence surround the restless corners. May small courage rise in the morning like the soft lift of dawn. These words are not commands. They are offerings. Take what comforts and leave the rest. I fold the thought into the night slowly. The lamp stays dim. The book rests. If sleep finds the listener, let it come. If wakefulness remains, let the words be a steady hum. In both cases, know that presence keeps watch. Overcoming begins in small breaths and grows by gentle passion practice. Rest now in that promise. I sit with the book open, and a single line rests at the center of my thought. It invites the weary to come. It invites those bowed down by burden to find a place of rest. The invitation arrives without pressure. It arrives like a soft hand at the small of the back, guiding one forward. I speak this evening as one who lays down burdens beside you. I do not speak from a place of perfection. I speak from the place of knowing the weight. I know how shoulders can hold too much. I know how the heart can carry a list that never ends. I know the tiredness that nests behind the eyes. Tonight, the task is simple. Notice what is heavy. Name it quietly. Bring it near. Lay it down. I ask for a subtle practice. Place one palm over the chest. Feel the rise and fall there. Breathe toward that place. Invite a single worry to come into view. It may be a worry about a person, a regret, a future decision, or a steady ache that does not name itself easily. Do not hunt for it. Let it appear like a small bird coming to rest. When it arrives, give it a short name. One word is enough. I hold an image in my hands. Imagine a small wooden table. On that table sits a line of stones. Each stone is a worry. Some are smooth and light. Some are rough and heavy. Place your stones one by one on the table. Do not lift them as a burden from the heart, so much as show them to a companion. Let them be seen. Now imagine a hand reaching across the table. The hand does not scold. It takes a stone gently. It does not toss it aside or hide it. It lifts it with care and sets it down in a larger place, a basin of soft light. The stone is not punished. It is received. The receiving is a simple act of kindness. I read the verse again in my mind as a quiet promise. It says, in essence, come and lay your load down here. Rest. The words do not demand a list of reasons. They do not require perfect answers. They ask only for the courage to come and to hand over what is too heavy. Trust rests in that handing over. Breathe now with intention. Inhale, slowly. Picture one stone moving from the table into the open hand. Hold the stone in the breath. On the out-breath, imagine placing it into the basin of light. Feel the muscles around the shoulders soften a fraction. Let the jaw release. Repeat this with another small burden. One by one, the stones move. If a particular worry refuses to name itself, that is fine. Place a blank stone on the table and hand it over with the same gentleness. The act is the heart of the work. The act is the trust that something larger will hold what I cannot. I do not promise that burdens vanish at once. That is not the kind of comfort this hour offers. Instead, comfort comes as steady company. It comes as a presence that holds the stones with infinite patience. That presence keeps watch. It does not demand a perfect solution tonight. It simply keeps the load in safe hands. Sometimes the weight is shame. It sits heavy and stubborn. Shame resists light. It wants to hide for shame. The gentlest practice is honesty. Admit the feeling to the quiet. Do not defend it. Speak a short phrase inwardly. This is shame. Then place its stone on the table. Offer it to the light. The hand that takes it does not judge. The light knows how to tend what is bruised. Sometimes the weight is worry about tomorrow. The mind runs ahead, rehearsing futures. When that happens, anchor in the breath. Bring the thought into the present by describing it in one line. Name the small next step that can be taken tomorrow. If no step is possible tonight, rest in the permission to delay. The hand at the table will hold the worry until morning. There are burdens that are sorrow. Grief shows up as a heavy cloak. It wraps around the shoulders, and breath gets shallow. For grief, remain present. Do not hurry to fix. Sit with the cloak. Let the tears come if they do. They are not a failing. They are the body's language for what words cannot hold. When a tear falls, imagine the basin of light receiving it with care. I place a small prayer between breaths. The prayer is short and plain. It asks for rest. For the weary, it asks for gentle hands to hold what is cracked. It asks for a quiet courage to let go of what cannot be kept. The prayer is offered without flourish. It is a small leaning. If anxiety rises as a tightening in the chest, use the breath to soften it. Breathe into the tight place for a few counts. Let the out-breath be longer than the in-breath. With each out-breath, picture a string loosening. The string could be a knot in the heart. Each slow exhale lets a loop open until the knot relaxes. I suggest a small ritual for this hour. Take a piece of paper, or, if that is not handy, make an imagined list in the mind. On that paper, write a short note to the self who needs rest. Speak kindly in a sentence or two. Then fold the paper and place it on the bedside table. The act is small. It marks a boundary between labor and rest. It confesses that some things can wait until morning. I do not press for immediate forgiveness or full resolution. Some burdens require time. They require tending across many nights. The work tonight is to shift from carrying to offering. That shift begins the healing. It begins the rearrangement of the load into something manageable. Imagine the presence that receives burdens as a steady lamp. The lamp does not snuff the night. It simply casts a soft glow so the room looks less threatening. The lamplight keeps the stones visible, but it lifts them out of the shadows, in light. Pieces can be sorted slowly. The presence is patient in that light. Sometimes, relief arrives as a single small image, a hand placing a blanket over the shoulders, a neighbor knocking to check in, a child bringing a glass of water. These are ordinary acts. They matter. They tell the story that the world does not leave the weary alone. Notice these small mercies tonight. Let them swell like quiet music beneath the other sounds. If a burden is tied to regret, offer a gentle task. Name one small amending step that can be taken. It may be a brief apology in the morning, a corrected action, or simply a promise to try again. The step does not erase the past. It loosens its sting. Put the step on the bedside table with the folded note. Let it be a small map for tomorrow. I speak now about trust in a tender tone. Trust tonight is not an ironclad confidence. It is a soft reliance. It looks like placing stones in the hand of another while still feeling the ache. Trust allows both the ache and the hand to be present. It does not force complete removal. It trusts the process of being tended. If sleeping seems far, remain with the motion of handing over. Let the act be the work. Work is not only about fixing. Sometimes the truest work is releasing. Imagine hands passing stones across a small bridge. Each passing lightens the part you hold. Watch the stones move from one palm to another until the hand that carries is lighter. I slow my voice here. Breathe with me. Inhale. Feel the chest lift. Exhale. Let the shoulders drop. Imagine the presence receiving one more stone. Let it be the hardest to name. Offer it anyway. Hand it into the light. Notice a small easing. The night keeps many small sounds. Let them be a reminder that you are amid life, not outside it. The presence that receives burdens is part of that life. It enters the ordinary and makes it sacred by caring. This caring does not call for demonstrations. It calls for trust in the quiet way of staying. I offer a short practice for the morning as well. When the new day arrives, retrieve one stone from the bedside table. Look at it gently. Decide on one tiny practical move that can ease it. Take that move before noon. Keep the rest for later. The morning belongs to small steps, not to overwhelming reformations. This pattern preserves rest while allowing action. If the burden is fear of failure, practice a small redefining. Replace the word failure with the word learning. This shift softens the posture. Learning admits mistakes without ending the story. Place that reworded stone on the table and hand it over to the light. Allow the mind to rest in the possibility that growth can be slow and still meaningful. I remind gently that mercy walks beside the handing over. Mercy receives the stones without tallying them as debts owed. Mercy is not a ledger. Mercy is a shelter. When a hand takes a stone, it does not count and weigh. It simply holds. That holding steadies the heart. I read in thought how the scripture invites the weary to find rest. I let the feeling of being invited sink in. It is an invitation offered again and again. It never ages. It never tires. It asks only for the small act of coming. Tonight, that act is real in the simple handing over of burdens. If sleep comes now, let it come with grace. Sleep is part of the healing. It is an act of trust that restoration continues beyond consciousness. If wakefulness remains, let the presence be a steady hum. Return to the table and to the stones. Offer them again and again in the patient rhythm of the night. Before I close this part, I place a short prayer into the room. The prayer is a small breath. Bring rest to worn shoulders. Bring gentleness to anxious minds. Bring a soft dawn to heavy hearts. The prayer is simple enough to hold without strain. It is a leaf put on a slow river. The river carries it with care. Now, a brief benediction settles the pause. May the burdens find gentle hands. May the stones rest in light. May the night shape a quiet hope in the chest. These words are neither command nor magic. They are a steady wish, entrusted to the quiet of the room. I close the book with hands that move slow and calm. The lamp remains low. The table holds its stones for now. The presence keeps watch. Rest in that keeping. When morning comes, return to one small step. Until then, breathe, hand over, and sleep if sleep finds you. This part ends here with a steady hush. The night listens. The burdens are not dismissed. They are received. The act of offering has begun the work of healing. Lay the head down. Trust the hands that hold. Rest now. I keep my voice low. The room listens. The book rests in my lap. A lamp throws a soft circle of light. Outside. The night breathes steady and slow. Tonight, I turn to a short truth. It is plain and true. All people make mistakes. The sentence is not a verdict. It is a shared fact. I say it gently, so the heart can receive it. None of us wakes perfect. None of us carries a complete map. The road includes wrong turns. I read a small line from the scripture as a soft statement. It names the human condition. Simply everyone falls short. The words sit like a quiet lamp. They do not shame. They only notice. When noticed, a new way of moving can begin. Mistakes arrive in different shapes. Some are loud and immediate. Some are small and slow, like a leak that widens over years. Some wounds show quickly. Some hide under friendly smiles. Each error matters. Each error can be laid down. The act of naming a mistake is not confession for punishment. It is an opening to healing. There is comfort in the fact that error is common. It means no one walks alone in that place. The mind that worries about failure is mistaken in thinking itself unique. Others have had the same slips. Others have felt the same shame. That truth softens the isolation. It opens a hand across the night. I invite a soft practice now. Close the eyes if it helps. Place the palm on the chest. Breathe slowly. Let the breath be the rhythm of this hour. On the in-breath, Nodisa recent mistake. Do not replay the whole story. Name it with one small phrase. On the out-breath, say quietly, I see this. I offer it up. The words are simple. They are not rushed. Repeat this 2 or 3 times. Forgiveness is an unexpected gift in this rhythm. It is not a demand that fixes everything at once. It is a gentle release. Imagine a knot in the rope of the heart. Forgiveness loosens the knot a bit. It does not cut the rope. It makes room for movement again. The scripture teaches a path toward this release. It suggests that repair begins when a truth is met honestly. When the truth that everyone errs is seen, the first step to forgiveness becomes possible. That step looks like humility and quiet trust. It looks like handing a stone of regret across to a capable hand. I read another line now that comforts like a soft shawl. It invites the weary to accept love that reaches beyond performance. The love is not earned by lists of good deeds. It is offered freely. This is a small mystery. It feels strange to those used to earning favor. Tonight, let the strangeness be gentle. Let it be like a new pillow that supports without testing. Embracing forgiveness asks for a short, steady courage. It asks to turn inward without fleeing. It asks to accept that a greater kindness is at work. The asking is small. It is a breath long enough to let grace enter. The courage is not theatrical. It is the quiet choice to let a hand of mercy take what I cannot carry. There may be resistance. Guilt can sometimes wear pride, like armor. Pride says, I will bear this alone. Guilt whispers, I do not deserve comfort. Both voices are familiar. Listen to them without judgment. Name them, then return to the breath. Keep giving the burden to the steady hand. If forgiveness feels distant, begin with a tiny action. Speak one brief truth to yourself. A single sentence, I did wrong here. I am willing to try again. Do not demand perfection. Let this sentence be a seed. Place it in the soft soil of your heart. Water it with a slow breath or team. Change will grow. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is not pretending nothing happened. It is a reordering of memory. The wrong remains recognized. The healing changes how it is held. A scar can be evidence of both hurt and repair. In light, scars do not vanish. They testify to mending. I pause here and listen to the room. Small sounds gather beneath the words. A distant fan. A slow car. The house settles like a chest at rest. These sounds are not interruptions. They are the quiet companions of the hour. Now I move to speak of grace. Grace is love that arrives without complete qualification. It comes like rain On a dry field, it soaks in regardless of merit. The scripture speaks of grace as a gift. It is not boxed and weighed. It is given because a heart chooses to give, not because the receiver has done enough. The thought can unsettle a mind trained in earning. Let the idea rest like a warm blanket. Its warmth does not depend on a list. It holds because giving is the nature of the giver. Tonight, accept the warmth without testing your right to it. This acceptance is restful work. I keep the reading soft as the idea sinks in. Grace does not cancel effort. It stands beside effort and says, "You are not alone. Work and rest can coexist." The hands that labor often need caring hands to hold the finished work. Grace attends the finished work and the laboring hands. A small image helps. Picture being on a long walk. The feet are sore. A stranger you do not know appears with a spare blanket and a gentle voice. The blanket covers the shoulders. No questions. The gesture is simple and kind. That is grace. It does not interrogate the path. It meets the need. Accepting the gift means allowing relief. Some resist relief because it feels like failure. Let the resistance soften under the light of this hour. Relief is not evidence of weakness. It is a signal that repair can begin when a muscle is allowed to relax. Healing progresses. The same principle holds for the heart. If an old habit insists on earning favor, practice one short change. When a thought of unworthiness arises, breathe and replace it with a single word received. Let the word sit in the chest for the length of one breath. The practice is small. It repeats slowly, over nights. Its rhythm becomes a comfort. Grace also welcomes the imperfection of others. It shifts the lens away from constant tallying. When living near others, remember that their mistakes are part of the shared road. Respond with gentle boundaries and with a willingness to forgive. The heart that receives grace often finds it easier to return it. A quiet practice for tomorrow may help. When waking, touch the pillow and say one simple truth. In the mind, I am loved. It needs no expansion. Make it short enough to hold. Let this sentence be the first step toward behaving as if grace is real in daily life. Simple acts follow simple beliefs. Do not mistake this teaching for a license to neglect growth. Grace invites growth at a steady pace. It supports change rather than forcing it. When mistakes repeat, grace opens the path to honest correction, not to indulgence. The hand that offers the gift also guides the learner. I slow my voice further. Let the words settle. Where there is regret, let mercy move like balm. Where there is doubt, let a small trust enter. The night does not demand immediate conclusions. It asks only for present breathing and for the small act of reception. If fear of judgment rises now, imagine a gentle bench under a tree. Sit there. Let the tree shade you. The tree does not demand a defense. Its shade is given freely. The image is small. It helps the mind understand that gifts can be given without calculation. Before I close this section, offer a brief inward prayer. No ornate language is needed. Whisper or think a line like this: receive forgiveness. Receive. grace. Let the breath carry it into the ribs. Stay with the feeling of being cared for 3 breaths. A final suggestion for tonight. Choose one small mistake to give up for now. Not all must be set down at once. Pick one that is heavy, but not so tangled as to demand immediate repair. Hand it over with a slow motion of the breath. Place it on the bedside table in the mind. Leave the rest for another night. I end with a soft blessing that does not preach. May the mercy you need find you tonight. May the grace that is offered rest on your chest like a warm blanket. May the knowledge of being loved steady the dry places in the heart. These words are a quiet entrustment into the night. The lamp remains low. The book closes gently. If sleep comes, let it come without guilt. If wakefulness stays, let the presence linger with a steady hum. Either way, know that mistakes are part of the road, and that a gift waits to make the journey lighter. Rest now. Let forgiveness be a slow hand that takes the familiar stone. Let grace be the rain that soaks into weary soil. Hold this small truth until morning. Help is nearer than you think. Keep breathing. Keep trusting. Keep coming back to this quiet place. I open the page tonight to a short story that feels like a small room inside a house. The room has a worn rug and a low hearth. It holds a father, 2 sons, and a lot of small, human mistakes. I read slowly and let the images settle. They come soft and plain, like stones in the palm. A younger son takes a bold step. He asks for what he believes he can grab. He leaves the home with a bag of hopes. The road is long. The cities glow. He spends what he carries on bright but empty things. Pleasure is loud for a while. The pockets empty faster than the heart expected. When the money is gone, the world shrinks. A famine presses like a tight glove. Work becomes necessary and scarce. The boy who left as a man ends up caring for animals he never thought he would tend. He grows hungry for food he cannot touch. At the low point, a small thought arrives. It is plain and practical. Return. Come home. Admit error. Seek a simpler place. There is no theatrical pride in the choice. Rather, there is a tiredness that finally becomes honest. He rehearses the words to say. He plans a confession. He composes humility as if it were a speech. The plan is careful. It looks like a small map out of ruin. Meanwhile, back at the house, the father is attentive in an ordinary way. He goes about the days with the steady rhythm of someone who is present. He watches the road because watching is part of his life. He does not keep his gaze because of a calculation. He watches because he cares. In the watching, he notices a distant figure. The figure is bent, smaller than before, carrying nothing but the truth. The father does not wait for the speech. He does not demand the carefully arranged words. Instead, he moves toward the one who returns. He leaves the comfort of his sitting place. He goes quickly, with hands ready. The gesture is unexpected. It is not conditional. Before a confession occurs, an embrace arrives. The welcome comes not because of a polished explanation. It arrives because love notices need and responds. I let that image rest a while. Breathe in slowly. Picture the sun lowering on a dusty road. Picture the figure walking, slow and uncertain. Picture the house at the horizon, and a man who does not wait for the full story before acting. Hold that scene for a breath. The movement of the Father shows a kind of mercy that does not depend on thorough accounting. It offers comfort first and explanation later. At the house, there is a celebration. A robe is brought. A ring is placed. Sandals are set on tired feet. A feast is prepared. The household rejoices because one who was far is now near. The food is not about judgment. It is about relief. A missing voice comes back into the chorus. The feast smells like bread and newness. The music is steady and small, not insisting on grand displays. It simply says, "Here is room, and here is welcome." Not all there in the house feel that welcome in the same way. The elder son remains near the field. He hears the noise of celebration. He learns of the feast and the robe and the welcoming. His face tightens. He does not step inside. He feels a rightful grievance. Years of faithful labor feel unnoticed. The quieter loyalty that kept the home steady now aches. The elder son stands in the cool air and wonders about fairness. The father comes out again. He speaks with a patient voice. He points to a truth that is larger than accounting. One who was lost has returned. That return is a reason to celebrate. The action is not to minimize the elder son's faithfulness. Rather, it is to show that joy for a recovered life does not subtract from steady service. Mercy multiplies joy. Mercy does not divide it into portions by ledger. I pause here and breathe. The story offers more than a plot. It gives an image of grace that arrives before answers are offered. The welcome occurs as a first act. The forgiveness is a present tense reality. Offered in the moment of return, it does not condition affection on a perfected confession. It accepts the messy heart before it has finished its speech. This kind of mercy feels strange to a mind trained in merit. The heart that expects to earn warmth must learn to receive warmth first. Let the thought sit like a small lamp. Imagine a hand placed over the head like a blessing. No recitation is required. The hand rests because it chooses to rest. The choice is not transactional. It is restful. For a cat practice tonight, imagine you are the one walking home. The road feels long. Your feet are tired. You carry a small stone for every regret. Each stone is labeled with a thought that tugs. One by one, place the stones on the path. Do not hide them. Lay them down in the light and keep walking. When the house comes into view, imagine the figure inside stepping forward with open hands. There is no inventory taken. The hands gather the stones gently and set them on a table that holds them without weighing you further. Let your breath guide this image. Inhale slowly. See the path. Exhale and lay a stone down. Repeat. Each out-breath is a small handing over. Each in-breath is the steady movement toward home. The motion is calm. It is practical. It does not demand a perfect ending. It offers a present relief. The story also opens a door to understanding being welcomed even when unworthy feels true. The younger son returns expecting to repair. Instead, He receives restoration first. The house does not ask him to justify his need. He is restored into the family before his speech is heard. That sequence reorders the habit of judgment. It suggests that love sometimes receives to make restoration possible. In the still of this moment, allow that thought to enter gently. Let it settle as a small truth acceptance may arrive in advance of full reconciliation. That acceptance makes space for genuine change. When the heart feels received, courage to grow appears more readily. The soul that is held is more likely to try again. The elder son's reaction gives another part of the picture. His loyalty is real. His hurt is real. The story does not deny his pain. It takes his resentment seriously. The father does not dismiss this grieved heart. He listens and reassures. The loving home does not erase faithful work. It seeks to make room for every weariness and every ache. Mercy speaks to both sides. It comforts the one who fell and the one who stayed. The parable is not a neat lesson that binds everyone the same. It is a portrayal of different human responses to grace. One responds with relief. One responds with resentment. Both responses live under the same sky of hope. The father moves toward each with steady patience. The patient love does not rush the elder son past his grief. It invites him into a larger joy without ignoring what is hard. I slow my voice further and invite a small reflection. Where in the heart is there a returning name it without long explanation? Sometimes a return looks like asking for help after hiding. Sometimes it looks like admitting a mistake to a neighbor. Sometimes it looks like coming back to a simpler discipline. Whatever form it takes, picture a pair of ready hands and imagine them meeting you there. Do not list reasons why you do not deserve it. Notice the sensation of being met. Now breathe in. Keep the breath steady. Breathe out and feel the relief in the chest. Let the relief be small and true. Let it not be a grand emotion that seeks immediate perfection. Let it be a quiet settling, like a cloth smoothing over a wrinkled garment. The story also invites a practical act of rest. If there is a burden tonight that has felt unmendable, set it aside in the imagined room of the parable. Visualize placing that worry on the table with the stones. Name it with one small word. Then imagine a gentle hand taking it and setting it among many others. The hand is not a magistrate. It is a keeper. It holds what you cannot hold and does not scorn the fragile way you carried it. Let that image be paired with a slow exhale. Exhale fully. Allow the shoulders to release. Notice how the jaw loosens. That relaxation is not a failing. It is a recognition that some loads are not meant to be borne alone. There is a promise braided through the story. Restoration is possible. It may look messy. It may not follow the tidy steps of pride. It may begin with receiving before repairing. That arrangement is not a loophole for carelessness. It is a pathway for genuine recovery. It says that love can be a place to start again. I speak softly now about the kind of hope the parable offers. The hope is not a quick fix. It is a patient trust that the lost can be found, that the wandering can return, that the tired can be welcomed. Hope behaves like a slow lantern. It does not shout over the night. It keeps a steady light where shadows fall. Let that light be enough for tonight. If it helps, hold a small ritual in the quiet. Place a hand over the heart. Whisper a single word to yourself, home. Let the breath lengthen on that word. Imagine the lamp of the Father's house. Picture the door open. The welcome may not erase or worry. It simply makes room for sleep and for courage to rise in the morning. I close this part with a soft benediction. May the mercy that moves before words reach you now. May acceptance meet you as you are. May the small hope of return settle in the chest like a gentle ember. Rest in the knowledge that you can come back. That welcome waits. That old mistakes do not have the final word. Breathe in the calm. Breathe out relief. Remain in that hush until sleep finds you, knowing that being received is enough to begin the next day. I sit with the book across my knees and a small lamp warming the page. The house breathes slow. Outside, the night holds its hush. Tonight I read a line that steadies the heart. It says that strength is not only what we do. Strength can be what steadies us when we feel small. I fold that idea into the quiet. I do not quote the verse word for word. I offer it as a soft promise instead. The strength that comes from Christ is available in the small, ordinary moments. It is not a demand to perform. It is a steady supply when energy runs low. It arrives like a hand at the back that helps a person stand after a stumble. The parable of the home and the open arms sits under this promise. The Father runs without waiting for the full confession. He meets the one who is weak and spent and brings him back into life. That motion is a kind of strength. It strengthens the returning one simply by being there. It suggests that strength can be a gift that arrives before repair is finished. Breathe with me. Inhale, slowly. Count 4. Hold a breath and notice the light inside the chest. Exhale long. Let the breath carry any tightness away. Repeat. Each breath is a small training for the body. It teaches the nervous system how to settle. Strength grows in the same way. Little, steady acts train the heart. Tonight, I invite a simple image. Place a palm over the center of the chest. Feel its warmth. Imagine a small lamp under that hand. The lamp burns steady and low. It does not scorch. It does not glare. It gives enough light to find the next step. Keep the hand there and breathe into the lamp. Each in-breath refuels it. Each out-breath lets tiredness rest into the light. Strength that comes from faith looks like that lamp. It does not insist on immediate fixing. It gives just enough warmth to stand. It helps the hands unclench. It helps the legs carry a body to the next small task. Strength often arrives as endurance rather than force. It is the ability to keep going in the presence of limitation. Think of a small muscle that grows with gentle repetition. The muscle does not bulk overnight. It becomes steady because of regular, tender work. Faith works in that fashion. The quiet, turning to God. The simple prayer. The daily breath. These are workouts for the soul. Overteam. Resilience appears. The heart grows a little firmer. The hands find courage for the next small step. I speak as one who reads the Bible here, not as a teacher with a list. The reading is a companion in the night. The words are like seeds that settle into dark soil. They do not demand a harvest immediately. They ask only for a steady presence. Presence is the root of strength. When presence keeps watch, strength finds room to grow. Try a soft practice now. Picture a narrow bridge across a slow river. Each plank is small and steady. Do not rush across. Place one foot on the first plank and breathe. Place the next foot and breathe. Keep the pace slow. Let the chest know the rhythm. The bridge stands even if the steps are cautious. Strength is the willingness to cross plank by plank, with a hand near the rail. When worry arrives, name it in one short phrase. Do not argue with it. Do not make it larger than it is. Say it, and then place it aside. On the in-breath, imagine receiving strength. On the out-breath, imagine setting the worry down gently. The repetition of this tiny exchange trains attention to choose steadying thoughts. Over time, the mind learns a new habit. The idea of strength here is different from the world's picture. Strength is not just bold action. It is also the quiet of a person who turns for help. Asking for support can be an act of strength. Returning to those who love you can be strength. The younger son walking home is not weak because he goes back. He is brave because returning takes courage. The father's arms make space for that courage to take shape. Let mercy and strength sit together in this hour. Mercy receives the spent heart. Strength grows in the shelter. Mercy provides. The two are not opposites. Mercy is not only comfort, it is the environment in which endurance is possible. When mercy comes first, courage can follow without the added burden of proving worth. If the night presses with fear, practice a short, silent line of prayer. Keep it simple. Use a few words that fit easily on the breath. A single word like strength. Hold. Help say it inwardly with each inhale. Let the word rest in the chest. The syllable will not solve everything. It will remind the heart that help is present. The reminding is the work that builds strength. I speak now about weakness because it is honest to name it. Weakness is not the enemy. It is the place where grace often begins. Muscles weaken before they strengthen. The ground feels unstable before a person learns to balance. Let the honest admission of limitation be a doorway, not a trap. In that door, faith offers a hand that steadies rather than judges. Imagine a small room with a chair by a window. The room is yours to enter when the night feels heavy. Bring no long explanations. Sit in the chair and place a hand on the heart. Let the light from the window be soft. In that place, say one truth, slowly. Strength is here. Allow the truth to be gentle. Let it sink into the ribs like a small stone. Strength that derives from faith can also be practical. It shows up when a needed phone call is made. It turns into the patience used to listen to a friend. It appears as the small discipline that keeps a promise to rest. Such acts are not dramatic. They are faithful. They accumulate into a life that endures. When the mind rushes to compare progress with others, return to the lamp at the chest. Each life has a unique pace. The bridge planks are laid differently for each traveler. Comparison steals energy. Presence restores it. Come back to the steady rhythm of breathing and simple action. Let that rhythm be the measure of progress for tonight. There is comfort in the smallness of the steps. Many things heal only by gradual repair. A bowl mended with gentle stitches does not pretend to be new. It becomes beautiful for its repairs. Strength works the same way. The mended heart is not erased of aches. It is held and made able to carry life again. I offer one short ritual to carry into sleep. Lie down and ease the weight of the body into the mattress. Let the hands rest on the belly. Count a slow inhale. Imagine a light rising from the belly to the chest. As it reaches the hand, feel it warm the palm. With each exhale, feel the warmth spread into the arms and down into the legs. The motion is small. Repeat until the body settles. For morning, plan one tiny step. It could be a short walk or a single phone call. Keep it modest. Strength in faith often looks like one brave act. Then another. It is not an all or nothing measure. It is cumulative. The habit of tiny steps makes large journeys possible. I do not promise sudden immunity from trouble. The night may still bring heavy moments. The body may resist rest. The mind may circle. Strength does not erase difficulty. It reorders the way difficulty is met. It places a steady hand at the back so that faltering can become forward motion again. If guilt or shame tries to make the heart small, remember the father in the parable. The embrace comes before the speech. Love can be present while repair begins. This is the pattern of a strength that comforts. It does not wait for proof. It acts. Let that image be a refuge tonight. Picture the hands ready and the lamp burning low under your palm. When courage feels distant, think of others who walk similar paths. Many have found strength by returning, by asking, by resting. You do not travel the route alone. The company includes those who read these words and those who have gone before. Presence threads through the generations like a quiet light. A small exercise for trust follows. Close the eyes. Place the left hand over the heart and the right hand over the left. Let them rest there together. Breathe and listen to the faint beat. Imagine each beat as a small bell ringing strength into the body. Let the rhythm steady the thought that help will join the next step. Stay with this for a few breaths. I speak softly now about perseverance. Perseverance is not stubbornness. It is a patient turning toward the source of help. It continues the small practices that feed the lamp. It keeps the ritual of breath, prayer, and rest over days. The small rituals become muscles. Those muscles yield a deeper steadiness. Before sleep, offer a brief, honest prayer. Keep it short enough to rest on the breath. Thankfulness mixed with need does not confuse the heart. It steadies it. Say a sentence that is true and simple. Thank you. Hold me. Help me. Let it be the final pattern before eyes grow heavy. I end this part with a quiet blessing. May the small lamp in the chest burn steady tonight. May the hand that meets the tired be gentle and sure. May strength come not as pressure to perform, but as the soft gift that makes the next step possible. Rest in that thought. Breathe slowly. Let the night do its work. When the morning comes, begin with one tiny act. Let it be enough. Keep the rhythm. Keep the lamp in the chest. Keep the hands ready for kindness. Walk the bridge plank by plank. Strength will arrive in the company of mercy. Sleep now, knowing the presence that sustains does not sleep. I hold the book in my hands like a small lamp. The lamp warms the page. I breathe with the rhythm of the room. The lamp of the page points to a single truth tonight. It is quiet and wide. It is love given. I paraphrase a short verse softly. It says that God showed his love by sending what was most dear. The sending is an act. It is not an idea. It is a giving that meets need. The text invites the heart to notice how far that giving reaches. I do not lecture. I tell a simple story instead. Imagine a father who sees a child who has wandered. The father does not wait for a perfect explanation. He moves first. He crosses the distance. He offers his arms. The motion is direct. It is not built on a list of qualifications. It is a movement of giving. The parable we have known returns here. But now it has another layer. What the Father does echoes a deeper giving that is always at hand. This giving is not abstract. It meets the places that ache. It enters the small failures and the old regrets. It comes close to the tiredness that keeps one awake. The giving brings presence where absence has been feared. The presence is calm and steady. It does not demand immediate change. It welcomes what is. I listen as I read these images. The breath slows. The lamp on the page becomes a lamp beneath the ribs. I place a hand over the heart. The gesture is simple. It roots the attention. The hand warms the chest. The warmth is a gentle sign that love can be felt, not merely thought about. I speak quietly about the cost of love. Love that gives something dear does not treat the world lightly. It chooses to enter vulnerable places. The giving in the scripture is that kind of entry. It is not a distant observation. It is a presence that becomes small enough to share our room. That nearness changes the shape of fear. When I read of God's giving, I think of the Father who runs. I picture feet in the dust and arms outstretched. The action is immediate. It happens before a list of confessions. The welcome precedes the speech. This order matters. It creates a place where truth can surface without being used as a tool for condemnation. It creates room for repair. Allow the thought to settle like a pebble in a bowl. Breathe in slowly. Hold. Breathe out and feel the container support the pebble. The pebble is the self that feels flawed. The container is the giving love that receives it. No polishing is required. The receiving itself begins the change. There are small practices that help the mind inhabit this reality. Try one now. Close the eyes if that is restful. Bring a single memory to the surface. Do not analyze it. Let it be a thin image. Place the image in the center of the palm. Imagine a hand from the other side, taking that palm and holding it there. The hand does not push or pry. It stays. It stays until the breath lengthens and the shoulders release. Repeat the practice with a different memory. Gentle repetition trains the body to accept comfort. The body's memory responds more slowly than the mind. The act of receiving must be practiced. A few nights of this small work begin to alter the way the chest holds the world. I speak about affection that is not performance. The giving I talk about is not calibrated by achievements. It does not tally good and bad like an account book. Instead, it notices need and responds. That response is a steady kindness that does not exhaust the one who receives it. Notice how restful that is, as a possibility. When guilt arises, it tends to argue. It composes lists and weighs failures. The temptation is to let guilt be the architect of the night. Instead, bring the guilt into the light of the lamp. Name it with a single word. Place it on the bedside table of the mind. Offer a short prayer, and then let the hand of giving move the burden. The transfer does not deny responsibility. It changes the mode of care. Responsibility and receiving can coexist. Receiving does not mean refusing repair. It means repair begins in a place that is not shameful. It starts where hands are steady and not accusatory. I watch this pattern in the stories I read. It is a path that invites slow mending. There is also a practical way to sense love as a presence. Use breathing as a tool. Inhale and picture the giving coming toward you. Exhale and picture it settling around you like a shawl. Do this for a few cycles. The pattern is small, but it trains the nervous system to accept support over team. The breath itself becomes a bridge between need and comfort. I avoid complex language in this hour. The mind tires of definitions when it only seeks rest. So I speak in images. A lamp, a hand, a warm bowl, a returning footstep. These images are meant to be anchors. Let them hold the place where dense thought loosens. Let them be simple gestures toward a greater reality. Love that gives reaches the places we usually hide. It finds the hollow behind the ribs. It knows the tins of regret kept under the bed. It does not tidy the room with a harsh broom. It sits on the floor and listens. Presence is the listening that begins to call things by their names without condemnation. When I read this scripture, I remember that giving often precedes comprehension. Understanding grows in the shelter of being loved. The mind does not have to solve everything to be worthy of care. We see that in the Father's action. The embrace comes before the explanation. The same order offers a pattern: be loved first, then understand better. I invite a short, inward line of prayer. Keep it simple. Say it slowly in the mind: I am known. I am held. The words are small. They do not demand argument. They breathe into the chest and lay a light there. Repeat the phrase 3 times with the breath. Each repetition loosens the tension in the neck and the shoulders by a fraction. At teams, receiving love triggers questions. Do I deserve this? Am I good enough? These questions are ordinary. Allow them to come. Acknowledge them with a soft name. Then return to the image of the hand that does not keep a ledger. Let the hand take the question and not count it against you. There is mercy in the giving. Mercy does not erase the need to grow. It tends it. Mercy helps one to try again. It does not make failure simple. It makes repair possible. When I read the Bible, I read this gift as a practical reordering. It shifts the first move from accusation to presence. A small exercise for tomorrow morning is helpful. On waking, touch the pillow and say one short truth to the self: I am loved. Keep the sentence brief. Let the breath carry it. Wear that truth for a few minutes before raising the body. Let it act as an anchor for the day. Small beginnings create steadier paths. I also suggest an act of sharing the calm. If the words have given rest, consider passing them along. A note in the morning, a quiet call, a small message. These acts spread the quiet like a soft wind. They cost little, and they multiply the sense that giving is contagious. Mercy tends to travel easily when it is practiced. Sometimes love shows as a painful gift. It may require boundaries, honest words, an attempt to mend. Even then, the first impulse can be present and kind. The gentle beginning makes the hard work possible. The love that gives also equips for difficult conversations. It holds the heart steady even in correction. I end with a gentle rest practice. Place both hands on the chest. Breathe slowly. Imagine a light descending into the hands. Let the light warm the palms. With each out-breath, feel the warmth spread down into the shoulders and across the back. Imagine the light taking one small worry and enclosing it in gentle warmth. Stay with this motion for a few minutes or until the body relaxes. Before sleep, whisper a brief benediction in the mind. Keep it simple and true. May you be held. May love find the tired places. May rest come without guilt. These words are not a spell. They are a wish carried on steady breath. I close the book slowly. The lamp remains low. The house breathes a little softer. If sleep finds you now, let it come as a friend. If wakefulness remains, let these images be a steady companion in the quiet. Love has moved close. It has placed its hand over the heart. It stays there. When the morning comes, let the first step be small. Take one tiny act of kindness for yourself. A warm drink, a short walk, a brief note to a friend. Keep the pace gentle. Let love shape these small choices. The giving that met you in the night continues to walk with you into the day. I lay the book down and linger in the hush. The promise of being loved is not a single night's comfort. It is a steady presence that returns when needed. Rest in that return. Breathe slow. Sleep. If sleep comes, remain held. I lower my voice and breathe with you. The lamp keeps a small circle of light. The night is steady. In this part, I invite a soft labor. It is the work of letting go. A verse rests in my mind tonight. It asks that bitterness be set aside. It calls for kindness and tender hearts. I do not unpack doctrine. I offer a simple practice. The practice is gentle. It is a slow unburdening. Rest the palms on the knees. Feel the weight of the hands. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for a quiet beat. Breathe out twice as long. Let the shoulders slip down with the out-breath. This breath is an invitation to release, not a demand for perfection. Imagine a table near the bedside. The table holds small stones. Each stone is a grievance. Each stone carries a tightness in the chest. Name one stone silently. It may be a past hurt. It may be a current slight. It may be a long-held anger toward a voice or a memory that keeps replaying. Give it a single word and lay it on the table. See your hand move slowly to the first stone. The fingers are careful. The motion is unhurried. Hold the stone and notice how the body carries it. Notice the jaw, the neck, the stomach. Say nothing aloud. Let the breath be the only voice. As the next breath comes in, picture a basin of warm light beside the table. The light is calm and patient. It does not glare. It does not demand a confession. It simply waits with a steadiness that does not collapse. Bring the stone to the basin. Set it gently into the light. Feel the change. The shoulder that was tense loosens a fraction. Not all pain leaves. Some stays to be tended later. The stone, though still there, is lighter because someone else holds it for a moment. This moment is a true relief. It is not a completed story. It is a beginning. Repeat with another stone. Each transfer is a small ritual. Each transfer practices a different muscle of the heart. The first moves are often the hardest. Habit tightens like a band. The practice loosens that band little by little. When the name that rises in the chest is a person, imagine placing the stone into the basin and then stepping back. Do not push the name away. Do not minimize the wrong. Acknowledge it, then hand it over in the same slow way. Imagine a steady hand in the light receiving what burdens you. The hand is not indifferent. It holds with care and does not tally faults. Forgiveness is not erasing. It is not pretending. Wounds did not happen. It is the decision to stop carrying the heaviness. It frees space inside the ribs for breath. The scripture I read suggests this posture set aside bitterness. Be kind, tender toward one another. It places forgiveness close to mercy. Mercy softens the edges of hurt. If the hurt is toward myself, place that stone down with equal gentleness. Many stones are carried inward. Regret can become its own weight. Name it and put the stone into the light. Imagine a hand there that does not scold. It receives the regret and tends it with patience. That tending might mean a small plan for amending tomorrow. It might only mean rest tonight. Both are faithful. There may be resistance. That is normal. Anger sometimes feels like protection. It claims a right to remain. Name the resistance if it appears. Call it by a small word. Then let the hand continue its motion. The practice is not denial. It is a deliberate choosing to change the posture of the heart. I tell this story softly, as one who reads the Bible to a room at night. The reading is not a test. It is a companion. The words of the scripture come as instructions for living kindly. They do not argue. They invite. They move the hands toward mercy. Now imagine the giver of the basil light. Picture a presence that gave what was most dear to make room for reconciliation. Think of that gift not as a theory, but as a bridge light across the distance between wounds. The gift shows that love crosses the gap first. Gratitude grows in the space where love moves close. Invite gratitude with a slow breath. Call to mind one small kindness from today or from long ago. Let it sit in the palm of the mind. It can be a look, a meal, a short note. Breathe in and let a small warmth spread from the memory into the chest. Breathe out and feel the chest soften. Acceptance of deep love follows gratitude easily. The love that gives does not ask for perfect answers. It asks for an open hand. Let the hand at the chest rest there for a few breaths. Imagine the deep personal love as a mantle that does not weigh. It rests lightly and steadily. Allow the body to receive it as if a warm blanket settles over tired shoulders. Forgiving another sometimes requires a different motion. It can help to picture the person across from you not as a judge but as a human who has also carried stones. It does not excuse harm. It changes the angle. Seeing another person's smallness can soften the fury. That softening does not make wrong right. It frees the heart to step out of the trap of endless replay. If forgiveness feels dangerous or premature, keep the action small. Forgiveness begins in the mind. Start by wishing for the person to find ease. Say nothing aloud. Offer an inner hope that their inner struggle might ease. This small shift is a brave step. It does not collapse necessary boundaries. It simply loosens the heart's grip on burning embers. There are practical steps to pair with this inner work. Consider a brief act, tomorrow, that honors repair. A short message. A calm phone call. A note left at a door. Small repairs matter. They do not demand full reconciliation. They open a door. If repair is not safe or wise, choose a private act of release instead. The act might be writing the name on a scrap that gets burned or buried as a symbol of letting go. The Bible I read gives a rhythm for such letting. It ties together the setting aside of harsh words and the welcoming of kindness. I hold that rhythm between the in-breath and the out-breath. Inhale gentleness, exhale bitterness. Each cycle trains the nervous system to prefer peace. If anger returns, do not scold the heart. Observe and return to the basin of light. The basin waits. Its patience is part of the healing. The practice is not linear. Progress can stall and then move again. Mercy is patient, so be patient with the self. I encourage a short ritual now. Place the left hand over the heart. Place the right hand over that left hand. Breathe deeply 3 times. On each out-breath, imagine a single stone moving from the left hand into the right. Watch it go. Let the right hand offer it to the light. With each transfer, feel a small easing in the shoulders. When the last breath of this ritual settles, sit in the hush a moment. Notice the small silences between sounds. Let them hold you. Let the stillness be a proof that release is possible. The night will carry this practice like a hush. Gratitude and forgiveness live together. The giving love invites both. Acceptance of this love allows the heart to rest from the need to prove worth. In that rest, releasing resentment becomes more natural. The chest unclenches. The jaw releases. Sleep can come without the habit of rehearsal. Before the page closes, make a simple plan for morning. Choose one small, concrete step, a brief walk, a cup of tea with attention, a short note to self that names a kindness received. Let the step be modest. Let it be doable. It will be the first test of tonight's letting. Small wins steady bigger changes. I place a short prayer into the quiet, nor need language, a breath that asks for help to lay down what is too heavy, a breath that seeks courage to forgive where possible, and wisdom where repair is not safe. Offer the prayer without performance. Let it be a tiny leaning. Now, I bless the night with a gentle word. May bitterness loosen like frost under morning sun. May kindness find a place to root. May gratitude and deep love rest on the chest like a warm blanket. May the habit of forgiveness begin as small acts and grow in patient measure. I close the book with slow hands. The lamp remains low. If sleep comes, let it come with blessing. If wakefulness remains, let the practice rest in the room like a quiet companion. Return when needed. The basin of light keeps its patience. The hand that gave remains near. Rest now in that simple truth. I settle into the low light. The book rests in my lap. My voice stays soft. The night listens, and so do you. Tonight I hold a simple promise in mind. The promise says that a peace exists which goes beyond what thinking can hold. It is a peace that moves into places the mind cannot always explain. It feels like a guard at the edges of worry. It is gentle and sure. I speak the passage quietly. Not as a test, but as an offering. The words tell of a peace from God that surpasses human understanding. That peace is described as a kind of keeping. It guards the center of a person, heart and mind alike. The idea is not clever. It is practical. It asks only to be received. Breathe with me now. Inhale slow. Count to 4 in the mind. Hold for a gentle moment. Exhale longer. Count 6 if it helps. With each out-breath, imagine a small loosening in the chest. Let the shoulders fall. Let the jaw soften. This breathing is a doorway. Picture a wide shoreline at dusk. The sky is pale and calm. The water moves slowly. Impatient, measured waves. Each wave comes close and then retreats. The sand where the water touches is smooth. The horizon holds no hurry. The scene asks nothing of you except to watch. Stay with that vision for a few breaths. Let it settle in the ribs. Now imagine that peace as a tide. It is not a forceful thing. It comes in soft and steady. It lifts small things lightly and carries them a little farther out until they are no longer pressed against the feet. The tide does not demand that the shoreline be perfect. It only brings gentle motion. Let the image wash over the chest on the in-breath. Let it draw away small, jagged thoughts on the out-breath. The phrase beyond understanding is not an excuse for silence. It is an invitation. When thoughts try to solve every mystery, this piece says, rest. Not everything must be figured out tonight. Some truths are first felt and then understood later. The body knows how to accept a soft weight. The mind learns to trust that some doors open slowly. Place a hand over the heart. Feel the rise and fall beneath the palm. Imagine a thin, warm cloth there. The cloth is a shield that does not shut out the world. It lets light through. It holds warmth. It keeps the wildness of worry from entering the center. So often, let the palm linger and breathe into that cloth. The sensation is small and steady. I guide a short exercise that fits the hour. Close the eyes if it helps. See a hill under a wide sky. On the hill stands a small tree. The tree rocks in a light wind. Its branches are not frantic. They move with quiet persistence. Under the tree is a bench. Sit there in the imagination. Let the bench support the whole body. Notice the legs let go. Notice the spine finding a calm line. The tree is not a teacher. It is a companion. Think of the piece as a silent guard. Guards sometimes stand tense and strict. This guard is not that kind. It stands like a friend who keeps watch with a soft lamp. The lamp is not bright. It is enough. It keeps the corners visible but not harsh. The guard listens when the heart speaks, when fear approaches. The guard simply stands between the fear and the center. The barrier is gentle and protective. If a thought arrives that is sharp or loud, do not turn it away with force. Name it briefly in the mind: anxiety, worry, aplomb. Give it no long rehearsal. Then imagine that soft guard lifting the thought and setting it on a low shelf. It does not hide the thought. It places it where it cannot press so close. Breathe and let the shelf hold what you cannot tend tonight. To make the piece more tactile, imagine a slow, cool breeze moving from the crown of the head down through the shoulders, across the chest, and into the belly. The breeze is safe. It does not sting. It smooths. With each inhale, the breeze brightens. With each exhale, it cools any hot places of fear. Let the motion be long and even. A short practice for the chest helps the mind trust this peace. On the in-breath, think the single word peace. Let the word be quiet. On the out-breath, think the word guard. Keep the rhythm steady. 3 breaths like this shape a small habit. Receive peace. Let it hold. Let it guard. The phrase need not be poetic. It only needs to be true. Peace that surpasses understanding does not promise the end of problems. It promises steadiness through them. It is a kind of shelter rather than a quick fix. Imagine standing under a wide porch during a slow rain. The rain goes on. The porch keeps you dry. You can listen to the rain instead of being soaked by it. This is the night's gift, a place to be kept while storms pass. Let the mind consider the phrase, guard your hearts and minds. Picture a soft fence around a garden. The fence keeps out what would trample tender shoots. It is simple and low. It is not a prison. The garden inside is not forced to produce fruit on demand. It grows slowly, with sunlight and time. The fence does its work quietly. Let that be the metaphor for how peace acts tonight. I read the scripture not as a test, but as a lullaby for the mind. The words come like a steady chant. They are not rushed. They are not an exam. They are a steadying hand. In their rhythm, the anxious mind can find a new pace. Try this as the breath moves. Imagine a circle of light expanding outward from the heart to the shoulders, to the fingertips, and then back. The circle grows and contracts with the breath. It keeps time with the peace. If worry shows its face again, invite it to sit on the edge of the room. Do not push or drag it under the rug. Offer it a chair far from the bed. Tell it, silently, you can speak later. Not now. The room is for rest. This is a kind compassion that sets boundaries without cruelty. Another image that helps is a clear, deep pool. Its surface is almost still. When a stone drops in, ripples travel outward and then fade. The pool does not chase the ripples. It waits until calm returns. Your mind is the pool tonight. Small events may make circles, but the pool's nature is to return to stillness. Stay with the feeling of returning. I keep my voice low as I guide this. The sound of a low cadence itself soothes. If sleep comes while these images play, that is welcome. Sleep is part of the peace that guards. When eyes close, the breath does the rest. Let the brain soak in the quiet like parched soil taking rain. If wakefulness remains, let the steady phrase return to the mind. Breathe in peace. Breathe out guard. Each repetition is not a test of faith. It is a reminder that a gentle presence watches over the restless corners. The phrase anchors the attention without demanding a mental victory. The notion of peace that cannot be fully explained is a safe idea for the tired mind. It allows mystery. It allows acceptance of not knowing. It invites the heart to rest in what feels true rather than in full explanation. The body often understands truth before the mind does. Let the ribs receive what the head cannot yet solve. I offer a practical instruction for the morning. When waking, place a hand on the chest and say one small line, "May this peace keep me today." Do not make it long. Keep it soft. This short action helps carry the night's work into the first hour. The morning can then begin under the same quiet guard. Tonight, I also place a brief prayer into the air. It is not ornate. It is a breath-bring peace that is deeper than thought. Let it rest where worry sits. Let it guard the mind and steady the heart. The prayer is an offering, simple and necessary. It asks for calm rather than answers. I do not promise instant removal of every ache. I promise a companion in the dark. I promise a peace that keeps watch. Imagine the guard's hands as not commanding but tending. The hands do not fix everything. They hold space for healing. They provide the soft distance needed for repair. If memory brings sorrow, bring that memory into the circle of peace. Do not jam it into a closet. Let it be seen, but softened. Imagine it resting at the water's edge, where the tide can touch it gently and ease the sharpness. The memory remains, but its edges become less jagged. The mind learns to keep it at a distance that allows living. End this part with a slow, soft benediction. May the peace that surpasses understanding settle like dew on the heart. May it guard the mind like a quiet friend. May no harsh thought press too close tonight. Rest in that guard. Let the breath continue its slow work. I lay the book down with hands that move slowly and kindly. The lamp is low but steady. If sleep finds you, let it come without guilt. If wakefulness remains, let these images and the small breathing practice be a steady companion. Return to them often. They are simple tools for the restless hours. Close the eyes if that helps. Breathe in peace. Breathe out guard. Rest now under that gentle keeping. The night is wide. The peace is near. Keep breathing. I will read again when the hour calls. I sit with the book open and a lamp low. The room leans into its own hush. My voice stays close and calm. Tonight I turn to a practice that is small but deep. Prayer is the word I read from James in a gentle way as a guide, not as a test. The text invites confession and prayer for one another. It connects honesty with healing. That thought becomes the center of this hour. Prayer as a quiet power. It changes the shape of a night. It does not always change the facts. It changes the way the heart holds the facts. It draws a line between carrying alone and handing what is heavy to a listening presence. This is not a promise of sudden repair. It is a promise that connection happens where honesty and asking meet care. I do not speak about arguments or theological puzzles. I speak about the practice. The practice is simple. Speak. Listen. Trust that someone hears. The hearing itself begins to mend. Say a name you carry. Speak a fear. Admit a small wrong. Ask for help. Let the words leave the throat. Let them become air, and not only weight. Begin with breath. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold a beat. Exhale long for 6 counts. Let each out-breath be a soft loosening. With every cycle, notice a tiny unclenching. Allow the ribs to widen gently on the in-breath. On the out-breath, let the shoulders drop. This breathing is the frame for the prayer to come. It steadies the body so the heart can speak. Place the hand over the chest if that feels right. Feel the small lift beneath the palm. That contact is an anchor. It is a quiet way to keep the prayer rooted in the body. The practice of prayer is not only the mind speaking, it is the heart finding a home for words that have nowhere else to go. The hand on the chest reminds the body that the heart matters. Start small. A single word is enough. Say it inwardly or aloud if that feels safer. Words like help, mercy, peace. Forgive carry weight. They do not have to be polished. Let the one-word prayer become a steady thread. Repeat it on the in-breath. Let it rest on the out-breath. This short pattern trains attention to turn toward the listening presence. Then bring a name. A person who is near or a person who feels far. Hold the name softly in the mind. Picture the color of their face or the way their laugh sounds. Invite them into the circle of prayer. Pray with no urgency. Pray with the steady tone of someone speaking to a friend who knows the heart. Ask for their ease. Ask for blessing. Pray simply that they might have enough, that they might rest tonight, that they might notice small mercies. Confession is part of the path James points toward. Confession here is not a public airing. It can be a private speaking of truth before God. It can also be the gentle telling of one trusted person. Choose the safe place. Choose someone whose presence steadies rather than judges. The aim is healing. Naming a fault aloud often loosens its hold. The spoken truth loses some of its power to twist and hide once it has air. If a confession feels too large to voice, begin in the imagination. Picture yourself sitting across from a trusted friend. Tell them the truth as if they were there. Hear the confession out loud in the mind. Notice how the body responds. Does the chest ease? Does a tightness soften? Even this imagined telling can begin to reorganize the burden. The act of telling moves weight into a different shape. Prayer for one another is gentle labor. To pray for someone else is to enter their life in a quiet way. The act creates a connection that does not demand a response. It is a gift. Think of intercession as placing a hand over the map of another person's life and tracing a small route of care. The tracing itself matters. It changes the map, even if the road ahead remains uncertain. When I pray aloud, I keep my voice low. I speak with short sentences. I name a need. I ask for a healing that might be small and practical, such as patience in a tense day, or large and mysterious, such as a softening of a hardened heart. I do not hurry the list. I stop between names and breathe. Each pause is as much an offering as the words themselves. Prayer also invites listening. Many nights the heart expects to do all the talking. Tonight, try to listen. After a short prayer, sitting quiet for a few slow breaths, notice any small impressions that come. These may appear as a memory, a peaceful image, a brief sentence rising without effort. Treat these impressions as gentle replies. Do not pressure them into fullness. Receive them like rain that falls lightly on leaves. A brief practice now will help the listening grow. After a simple request, return to the breath and count 3 silent breaths. Do not force an answer. Be willing only to be present and to notice. Sometimes the reply is no phrase at all, only a strange easing in the chest. Sometimes it is a thought that nudges a decision. Allow whatever comes to be a quiet companion. Healing prayer often looks ordinary. It can be a short asking for courage to call someone back. It can be a request for steadiness in a small task. It can be a plea for the strength to sleep. These small prayers are not insignificant. They are the stitches that gather a whole life together. Embrace smallness as part of the work. There is a practical form to the prayer James suggests: confess. Pray for one another. Be healed. If confessing aloud is safe and wise, choose a quiet person and a private time. Keep the confession brief and truth-focused. Then pause and ask that the person might be freed from shame. The one who listens is not an examiner. They become a witness. The witness matters because being seen reduces the power of secret burdens. If it feels right, make a plan to reach out to a trusted person tomorrow. Send a short message. Name a time to speak. Ask for prayer. A tiny act like this strengthens networks of care. It turns private struggle into shared tending. The world does not intend for heavy burdens to remain solitary. Community is part of the design. Practical steps knit the threads together. Sometimes healing is not immediate. Be patient with the slow pace. Prayer plants seeds. Some seeds sprout overnight. Many take seasons. Keep remembering that the work happens in ways that are not always dramatic. A night of sleep after a prayer can itself be evidence of movement. A softened heart in the morning shows progress. The measure is not always flash. Often it is quiet, faithful return. There is also the gift of mutual prayer. When 2 people pray for each other, something changes in both. The one who prays gains compassion. The one who receives the prayer gains another presence for their care. This mutuality makes both hands lighter. Consider pairing with someone for a short, regular prayer, even a weekly, 2-minute exchange. steadies life in surprising ways. Now I guide a short moment of personal prayer. Keep it brief and honest. Place the hand on the chest. Breathe slowly in for 4. Hold for a quiet beat. Breathe out long for 6. Name one thing you need tonight. Keep it honest but short. Say it once or twice. Then listen for 3 slow breaths. If a feeling of being held enters, stay with it. If nothing feels different, still rest in the quiet. The act itself matters. If words come hard, use a breath prayer. On the in-breath, think the word Lord or help. On the out-breath, think the word come or ease. Repeat this pattern for a minute. The rhythm becomes prayer. The body finds a route to surrender without long sentences. Breath and a single word can form a doorway into presence. End this prayer time with a tiny act of gratitude. Name one small mercy from the day. It can be as simple as a cup of warm water, a text that arrived, a moment of sunlight. Let the gratitude rest on the tongue of the mind for a few breaths. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply acknowledges that points of light exist even in a dim night. If the heart calls for confession to another and it feels safe, choose one person and keep the message brief. Ask for a listening ear and for prayer. Keep the expectation low. Do not require a cure. Request only presence. The presence of another steady heart often does what words cannot do alone. Before I close this part, I offer a short, slow benediction shaped like a breath. Breathe in. Receive the invitation to be known. Breathe out. Let go of the need to perform. Breathe in again. Trust the gentle listening that is present. Breathe out. Rest in the simple gift of being held. Tonight's final suggestion is practical. When the morning comes, set one small time to pray for a person or for a situation. Keep it short, 2 or 3 breaths. Let the habit be a soft discipline rather than a task. The repetition will build a quiet life of care that steadies both the giver and the receiver. I close the book for a moment and linger with the quiet. If sleep comes while the prayer sits in the chest, let it carry you. If wakefulness remains, return to the breath prayer. Let it be a friend in the night. Prayer is not a performance. It is a return. It is a leaning into care that hears without tallying. May the small habit of speaking and of listening meet you tonight. May honest words find a soft place to fall. May the act of praying short, slow, and brave begin to untie what the day has knotted. Rest now in the knowledge that a presence listens. Rest in the calm that follows honest speech. Keep breathing gently. When morning comes, offer one short prayer again. Let the practice grow slowly, like a tender plant reaching for light. I open the page again and let the words rest in my hands. The pages are soft. The lamp is low. I breathe with the room. Tonight I bring a short, old promise into the quiet. It is a simple direction about trust. It asks me to place my confidence where sight thins and plans fray. I do not present a long argument. I offer a small picture. Imagine a narrow path through trees. Mist hangs low. The map in my pocket is folded and worn. It helped at first. Now the path bends where the map does not. The light changes. The map does not explain the next turn. The invitation is to trust the guide who knows this terrain better than any paper. Trust feels difficult when the road feels uncertain. I name that plainly. It is okay to feel the tension. The chest tightens. The mind rehearses contingencies. Still, a movement is possible. It is not a grand leap. It is a small act of handing over the next step. I read the counsel gently in my mind. It does not demand perfect understanding. It asks for a different posture. Lean away from the need to figure everything out. Rest the heart where a steady wisdom waits. When I practice this, decision loses its frantic edge. I am freer to breathe. Surrender is not a passive thing. It is a deliberate placing. Picture a wooden table by a window. On it lies a folded list of plans. Tonight, I take that list and smooth it with my palms. I do not toss it away. I lay it down. I say, quietly, I will not clutch this plan so tightly that it becomes the only way. I place the list into a soft box of trust. The box is not empty. It holds a hand that guides. The guiding hand does not force a single route. It bends to need. It lights the next footstep. Sometimes the hand shows a clear road. Sometimes it simply steadies the ankle. Both kinds of help matter. Both make the journey possible. There is comfort in being led when the why does not fit together yet. I have felt the relief of a path that opens even in fog. Often the path is not the one I drew. The new route suits the ground. It learns the weather. It knows where the hidden stones are. Trusting this wisdom brings a quiet steadiness to the ribcage. If anxiety tightens the throat, use a small practice. Close the eyes if that is restful. Picture the table again. On it, write one worry on a small piece of paper. Fold it simply. Place it into the box of trust. Do not make the folding ceremonial. Keep the action plain. The hand that receives it does not tally mistakes. It keeps the burden while the heart rests. Another image helps. Imagine a compass whose needle points not to a political north, but to a patient truth. The needle steadies no matter how much wind tosses the map. When plans crumble, let the compass be the center. Follow it step by step. The motion is modest. The motion is faithful. I do not promise that every fear melts at once. I speak instead of a steadying presence that guides through the dark. Many nights I sit with people who feel lost. Their hands are small around their plans. They fear error. In those moments, the invitation is simpler than they expect. The invitation is to release tight hands and rest in a hand that steadies. The rest that follows is not weakness. It is wise. Trust reshapes time. When I lean into it, tomorrow stops crowding the present. I can do what is near. I can take one honest step. The future then becomes less a pressure and more a horizon. The horizon waits. It does not demand a full blueprint tonight. There are practical ways to practice this trust on a small scale. If decisions press, choose one small next step that requires less certainty. It might be a phone call. It might be a short walk. Make that move with a quiet prayer. Lead the step. Keep the rest in the box of trust. Encourage the body to keep pace with the heart. I speak about wisdom in a gentle tone. Divine wisdom is not a harsh correction. It is a soft rearranging. It understands what the small muscles need. It knows how much a heart can carry tonight. When I ask for guidance, I often find that clarity does not arrive as a flood. It comes like a steadying hand on the shoulder. Surrendering plans can feel like a loss. I acknowledge that the plan represented care and effort. Let the grief for that familiar shape be present. Place the grief in the box too. The hand that guides receives sorrow, along with strategy. Healing grows when sorrow is welcomed, not shuffled away. Part of trust is patience. I watch my breath and count short cycles. Inhale. Acknowledge the worry. Exhale. Offer it up. Inhale. Receive a thin thread of calm. Exhale. Let the body loosen. The breathing is the craft of surrender. It trains muscles that habitually tense. I also encourage a morning practice. When dawn arrives, wake with a single word, whispered inwardly guide. Let that word be the first small pivot of attention. Then choose one modest action that aligns with trust. Keep it doable. Let the day accumulate gentle choices. Or a team. The pattern rewires anxiety into steady steps. There is no shame in seeking counsel. Wise companions help translate guidance into work. Ask a trusted friend for a brief conversation. Bring the box of plans and show one page. Listen to their calm. Shared insight often clarifies one next step that I can take without needing to have all answers. I read now, softly, a short line of scripture in paraphrase. Trust with the whole heart. Do not lean only on personal understanding. Acknowledge guidance in every small choice. Notice how the phrase lands. It is a practical request. It asks for a simple posture of the heart. When I try it, complexity thins. The practice of acknowledging a good guide feels like a daily courtesy. In the morning, in a quiet moment, I name the need and ask for direction. That moment is small. Its cumulative power is surprising. The heart becomes less dependent on frantic solving and more open to patient seeing. Surrendering personal plans does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means sharing it. It means walking with help rather than carrying alone. I keep the hands active. I act on the small things I can do. I release what is beyond my strength. This balanced posture preserves energy and deepens courage. Now I move toward the close. The hour needs a breathing ritual. I slow the cadence of my voice to match the breath. I invite a simple practice we can do together. Quietly. With the lights dim, sit or lie down. Rest palms on the belly. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Feel the abdomen fill. Hold a soft beat. Exhale gently for 6 counts. Imagine the breath carrying a small list of plans into that box of trust. Repeat 3 times. On the next inhale, think the single short word, trust. On the out-breath, think the word lead. Keep the rhythm slow. Trust in, lead out. Let the pair be a tiny prayer. Do not force images. Let the words float like feathers. The repetition trains the heart to yield and to follow in a measured way. If the mind wanders, return to the breath and the words. No scolding, no effort to control everything. Simply come back like someone returning to a warm room. The practice is gentle. It is the steady work of a tired hand learning to rest. I close the page now. The verse stays as a quiet lamp behind the eyes. The box of plans remains on the bedside table of the imagination. The hand that guides rests near it. The path may still bend out of sight. That is all right. The next step is given in small measure, before the final silence. I offer a brief prayer in the hush. Keep it short. Ask for calm in the chest. Ask for clear, small steps. Ask for courage to hand over what is too heavy. Let the prayer be a single breath that carries hope. Now a blessing. May trust meet the places where understanding fades. May the hand of guidance steady your next steps. May the plans you carry rest in warm, careful hands. May the mind find a rhythm of calm. May sleep come as a friend, and may the morning offer one small, clear step. I fold the book and let my voice soften to a hush. Rest if sleep comes, if wakefulness remains. Return later to this calm. Keep the box of plans close to the bedside of the heart. Place one page there tonight. Leave the rest to the steady hand. Breathe once more with me. Inhale trust. Exhale lead. Let the words settle into the ribs. Let the night hold you. I will read again another evening. For now, rest in the quiet that follows surrender. I sit very still at the edge of the hour. The lamp is low. The book rests open. Its pages warm under my hand. I have read aloud the quiet words that steady the heart. Now I bring the hour to a close with one small, clear practice. It is a practice of gratitude. Breathe with me. Inhale slowly. Count 4 in your mind. Hold a gentle beat. Exhale longer. Let the out-breath be a soft emptying. Repeat once more. Let the body find a softer rhythm. Place a hand over the center of the chest. Feel the rise and fall beneath the palm. That touch becomes a tender witness. It keeps the attention anchored in the body instead of the endless lists in the head. Think of 3 small things from today that are true and kind. Do not search for grandeur. Look for the simple, a warm cup, a brief message that made you smile, the way light fell across a table. Name each quietly in the mind. Let one word be enough for each. Mercy, a borrowed laugh, a measure of rest. Bring the first thing to the breath. On the in-breath, receive it like a small gift. Let it sit under the palm. On the out-breath, say thanks inwardly. No pattern of words is needed. A soft yes will do. Let the feeling of gratitude expand just a little. Notice the chest loosen by a hair. Notice a tension ease. Move to the second item. Repeat the motion. Breathe it in. Hold it there a beat. Release with thanks. Watch how each small gratitude widens the space inside. These are simple truths. They are not arguments. They are small lamps put on the table of the heart. On the third breath, bring the last small kindness. Let it settle where the light is. Offer a quiet thanks that does not demand return. Allow the body to receive the gift. Let the breath be steady. Rest the hand a moment longer. feeling the slow calm the practice makes. Gratitude does not erase difficulty. It does not pretend pain is absent. Gratitude shifts the way the heart holds things. It stitches a gentle seam between heaviness and hope. When gratitude and need sit together, the night looks different. It becomes a place where mercy can enter. I read scripture aloud in this hour, not for debate, but for solace. The passages I choose carry a pattern presence. Keeping, tenderness. Tonight, the thought that stays is this peace is given, not earned. Rest is invited, not demanded. Hear that as a simple gift. Let the idea sit like a shawl around the shoulders. If waking returns during the night, remember this small habit. Place a hand on the chest. Breathe 3 slow breaths. On each in-breath, imagine receiving a quiet kindness. On each out-breath, offer a small thanks. The practice is gentle. It is an anchor. It does not require long thinking or heavy words. I offer a brief prayer now. It is not ornate. It is a single, steady leaning. I ask for rest to reach the places that ache. I ask for mercy to touch the parts that shame hides. I ask for calm to steady nerves that run like loose wires in the dark. I ask for a gentle hope to sit at the edge of each weary thought. May presence be near. May the night hold kindly. Amen. Simple and plain. After that prayer, let an image guide the coming sleep. Picture a small lamp on a bedside table. Its light is warm, not bright. It does not glare. It shows the room without exposing it. Imagine that lamp as a presence that keeps watch through the night. It does not do everything. It simply remains. Its continued presence is enough. Imagine also a cloak of peace laid across the shoulders. The cloak is soft. It carries no judgment. It holds warmth where the chill is. Wrap it slowly around the shoulders and feel the weight secure. Small and good, the heart beneath it need not prove itself. It is covered. If the mind races to plans or corrections, give the thoughts brief space and continue the breathing. Say nothing long. Picture each plan as a small paper folded and placed gently on the bedside table. Close the hand and let the table hold what can wait. The table is steady. Return to breath. Return to the hands on the chest. As the breath slows further, let gratitude turn outward a little. Think of one person who showed a small kindness this week. It could be a neighbor, a colleague, a stranger, or a distant memory. Hold that face in the mind for a single breath. Wish for their ease. Let the wish be brief. This small act of intercession does not require perfection. It opens the heart toward others in the gentlest way. Now give attention to God's presence through the night. This presence is not a lecture. It is company. It is the hand that steadies the one who trembles, and the shoulder that keeps its patient hold. I do not explain how. I ask only that you place trust like a thin stone in your hand and set it on the table beside your plans. The hand that receives it knows the weight. If sorrow rises while the lights are dim, do not panic. Let tears come if the body needs them. Tears are a language of heart. They do not mean weakness. They mean honest feeling. Let the tears be like rain that cleanses the dust. Then let the cloak of peace be draped again. The night tolerates such cycles. Mercy does too. There may be regrets that will not be resolved tonight. That is all right. Some work must be done by day. For the night, allow the list to sit in a safe place. Promise one small thing for the morning. It can be a brief call, a short walk, a tiny step. Keep the promise modest. Small steps build steady pathways. I will close the book slowly. The lamp will remain low. Words will not be hurried. If sleep arrives before I finish speaking, that is welcome. The voice will continue like a soft hum in the background. Let it be a companion to your rest. Before the final silence, take 3 very gentle breaths with me. Inhale, receive a small kindness. Hold, let it warm the chest. Exhale, say thanks inwardly. Each cycle deepens the calm. Each cycle prepares the body to accept repair. Now I offer a final blessing, spoken in a quiet tone. May mercy meet you in the narrow places. May peace lie across your mind like a warm shawl. May hope quiet the anxious plots, and let simple trust rise. May the presence be near as you sleep. May your dreams be gentle and soft, and may you wake with one small courage to begin the day. When the morning comes, begin with a single tiny act of tenderness toward the self, a warm drink, a short, clear breath, a sentence I rest. Do not demand sudden change. Let the practice of small, faithful actions carry you forward. I close the cover now. The motion is slow. The lamp is dimmed. The room breathes with a steady, low rhythm. If the mind continues to spin, return to the hand on the chest and the breathing. If anxiety wakes the night, revisit the small ritual of gratitude. The gestures are humble. They are powerful because they repeat. Thank you for sharing this hour with me. It is a quiet privilege to read beside you before sleep. I will be here again with the same gentle rhythm when the time comes. Now rest. Breathe. Let mercy hold the places that ache. Let peace keep watch. Sleep is welcome. Sleep safely, held and blessed.